We are in the beautiful town of Springdale, Arkansas today, and we're starting a brand new project. We're going to build a beautiful waterfall coming down this existing hillside into this pond here. We're going to do an intake bay right where I'm standing, so the waterfall is going to run all the way into the pond, or we're going to do a basin right on the edge. We haven't determined that yet, but we'll know by the end of the day today, so we can start digging tomorrow. I've got some really beautiful boulders I've brought out on the stage. I'm going to get another couple loads of that. Really beautiful big stuff. We got a pretty good slope. It's hard to tell on the video probably, but it's a good almost 6 feet of elevation change over across 30 feet or so. So it's all some really beautiful waterfalls with really big drops. So this is where his power and his air lines are running in. He's got an aeration system and the fountain in there. So we're either going to do a skim cove or an intake bay right in this area here, but it's real rocky and there's not a lot of clay in it, so we're kind of weighing the options of whether we should try to do that, which would help skim all of this nasty slime that gets when it only does it when it's real hot, but it'll pull all this stuff into one area, which would be easier to manage. Look at all those little minnows. He's got a ton of koi fish in here and some bass, and he's wanting a little more aeration, but he mainly just wants the sight and the sounds of the waterfalls. So we may end up just doing our basin right on the edge right here and doing our waterfall walking back up into this area here, and it'll be a little sitting area patio where the NT is right there. Just enough for 2 chairs, him and his wife to sit and enjoy the waterfalls. It's going to be a pretty cool one. I love working with these bigger boulders in these existing hillsides. It just makes it out, really pretty waterfalls. This is what we got here. I got another load just like this one with some big guys, big beautiful mossy boulders. This is a waterfall stone here, another one right here. I like making the waterfalls with these nice flat tops. They got a real tight edge. You get a big sheet of water coming off of that. Frame them out with these big beautiful guys, and it just looks really pretty every time. But I think kind of a mess. We'll get that picked up when we're working our way out of here, but super pumped to get this one started. We were standing in our first cut here, so we're going to try to get our first waterfall somewhere right in here, facing the seating area up there. This is our lowest water level in the pond that he's ever recorded, so we wanted our first drop to fall into this grade, into that water level. So the highest water level gets is right there, so when the pond is completely full, this first waterfall may kind of disappear in the water in the pond. But when it gets really low, just still have a nice waterfall that falls into the grade, into the water, the pond level here. So we're gonna get some rock pad and our liner in this first shelf, and we're gonna pick out our first set of rocks, and then we'll flip everything back over and start going back up the hill. Made some pretty good progress today. We've got a lot of boulder work done. We got all of our main waterfalls done. We're going to try to get one more real short waterfall, kind of facing the fire pit area. He's going to have a sitting area right here where that boulder is, somewhere right in here. We got enough grade for just a little bitty fall to push some water around, rip around in through here This is a really cool plant pocket. We're going to do some real thick plantings in there, kind of break up all this big chunk of rock, but I liked how it looked. I got water coming off kind of a low dip right here. It'll slide onto that rock and fall off that way, and also fall this way, and then it should fall off of this side too. A big sheet there and there and there. Gonna put a really big cool stump right in there somewhere. We like strip wood, so we're gonna try to work in as much as we can, or maybe another piece right up in here, or maybe get a piece that'll go down here, look like a tree died growing in between these rocks. That would be really cool, but that would have to be the perfect piece to make that work, so we'll see if we can. We're getting close to knocking this one out. We've got the waterfalls almost completely done. We've got a little bit of edging left and just a few rocks set up there on top, and we'll have this done, and then we can go over here, start building our intake bay, and hopefully turn these things on tomorrow. That would be awesome. So we've got to put some more cobbles in here, help hold that liner and rock pad down and disguise all that, but we've got all of our outcroppings done from the pond all the way up to the top shelf. All of our falls are done and foamed in. We got a little bit of 10% stuff, hiding some foam, hiding some edges. Didn't want to hide all of them completely until we can turn it on and double check that we're good. We're usually pretty good. Definitely want to make sure that water's not coming around here on that edge and this edge here before we button those up. So we'll get everything running before we get those completely finished. But turning out pretty cool. So we got some really nice outcroppings in this one, and then we got to button this up today. Getting excited. Alright, we're going to start doing the intake bay today. We've got our laser set up, got our grades found, got the aqua blocks laid out. We temporarily stuck our pump out in the pond just to test run our waterfalls and check our edges, and we're all good and everything looks awesome. So we're going to start doing this intake bay, hopefully get it in the ground today, and get this thing skimming some fun. Intake bay is done. We put a little bit of mulch around it. This is where the pump vault is housed, so if we ever have to work on the pump, super easy access there. But look how well the intake bay is working, pulling all of that surface debris and skimming all the algae off the top of this pond, so you can come in here in just a few minutes, scoop out all this mess. Absolutely fantastic thing to add to a retention pond or a farm pond. That just really helped maintain the pond a whole lot easier. You can really see how the surface of the pond is getting skinned with this intake bay. It's doing a phenomenal job pulling all of the surface debris and algae and putting it in one spot that's super easy to manage and maintain. It's not too bad to look at, especially when the plants grow in. He said he was wanting to plant a few more things around this himself, so he's going to get some creepers and crawlers that crawl and kind of hide the edges here and really blend this rock work into this hillside. Especially when his grass gets grown back in, this will look fantastic. We are done out here in Springdale on the retention pond or farm pond. Landscaped, waterfalls running, mulch down, little gravel sitting area in there. And we got our intake bay. It's skimming this pond beautifully.